I'll keep it on, mount up. What's going on, my high vibrational, individual expressions of source code on earth? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. Brothers, sisters, you must be and you must have an ID-generated system. Your job is to establish an ID-generated system. It's a source-generated system. Remember what we talked about earlier today. The most important thing on earth, bar anything that anybody on this planet can tell you, is you must have a proper ID. Just like you can't go to a club without an ID. You can't drive without an ID. You can't do anything in life without some type of identification in the system. They give you a social security number. They give you a birth certificate. All of these are forms of identification. I'm identified according to the culture as a black person or a black man. Why? Well, I have a gender. It's a way to identify. It's a label. If there are no labels, then we have no frame of reference. Everything in this earth is based upon definitions. Unfortunately, you got the wrong one. So your system that comes from your definition, your ID, the way you see yourself is the way you be yourself. If you don't see, you can't be. You can't be nothing that you don't see. Unfortunately, most people can't see. And it's not by accident, it's by design. So my job is to assist you with occupying your mind with your God-given design. So if you don't see yourself, you can't be yourself. So the number one and the most important thing on earth is a proper self-identification. Most of us, we identify with our race, or we identify with our religion, or we identify with a specific church, or we identify with a specific culture. And all of those are great ways of identification, but they're not based upon God or source. So you must have a source-generated ID. Let me say it again. You must have a source-generated ID. Let me say it again. You must have a source, God, universal, the Paroma and the Paru. If you don't have a Paroma-generated identification, if you don't see yourself the way God designed yourself, you're in trouble. And unfortunately, we've got artificial intelligence now that's replacing authentic intelligence. So the average, keep it on, is not authentic. He's fake. And therefore, you're phony and you got a fad. Not you personally, but people you know. So all I do is source-generated identification systems. I call that my Destiny Report. Now, again, this comes with the Kingdom Millionaires program. Today, 50% off. This program sells for over $20,000. It's a whole year worth of stuff. It's too much stuff for me to break down, but it includes this. This right here, this is worth more than gold. This is your ID. I didn't make it up. I just got it from God. So God put himself inside of you, and he's operating as you, and he's manifesting him, her, or himself through you. So your job is to align your mind with your God-given design, not mine. Once you do that, once you establish a proper ID, your whole life changes. Now, all of a sudden, you got dunamis power. Now, all of a sudden, you're just like what Jesus had. Jesus had power, but his power came from having dunamis and exousia. Those are the two Greek words that give us the English word authority and power. You're supposed to operate in power and authority. Unfortunately, most of us don't have that power. So when you speak, you're supposed to be able to move the molecular structure. Abracadabra, I create what I speak. So do you. So you're supposed to speak as one having authority, because you do. You got the power and you got the authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and all power of the enemy, and nothing shall by no means harm you. So once you understand that, your whole life changes. So I'm living in my brand new $1 million house. I got my dream car, my Corvette. I'm living my dream life because I changed how I see myself. I don't see myself as a black person or a black man. That's too small. I'm too big. I'm a spirit. And I have possession of a soul, and I'm driving a body. I am not my body, boo-boo. I am not my soul. I'm a universal, independent expression of God on earth. So are you. But if you don't see yourself, then you pray to God. You don't pray as God. Whole different study, bruh. Whole different study. So then you live in a frequency of waving a vibration where you come across as a peasant, as a servant, and not a priest. See, we have this treasure hidden in earthen vessels. What is this treasure? The Christos inside of you. So the kingdom of God is within. That's what it says in the book. So unfortunately, we worship or we look outside of ourselves for things that we have inside of ourselves. Where does your worth and your value come from? Does it come from a book? Does it come from a reverend, a doctor, or a bishop? Who gives you your power? Who gives you your identification? Who gives you your sense of self? Where does your worth and your value come from? Does it come from your job? Does it come from your wife? Does it come from your children? All of those are low vibrational frequencies. They come and go. Your worth and your value must come from what you was born with. Boo-boo, this shit's your birthright. This is your birthright. You was born with this. You can't go get it. You is it. So you can't make money. You are money. Once you become a walking, talking, breathing ATM machine, your whole life changes. But all that starts with what? How you see yourself. The universe does not give you what you want. The universe only gives you what you are. So my question again, who are you? I'm going to see you at the top. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? Let's get it. God bless.